Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss Nicosia's model of consumer behavior. This model was proposed by Francesco Nicosia in the year 1966. He was an expert in consumer motivation and behavior. This model is considered one of the first models which explains the complex nature of consumer decision-making process. Nicosia explains the model as a four-step process, and each step is considered as a component in which some kind of information providing is taking place. Each stage gets the input from the previous stage. Now, let me explain the model in detail. There are four fields in the model. Each field is considered as a component and each field is connected through loops. As we can see, output of one field is becoming input for other field. Feedback is considered relevant in this model. The first field is divided into two subfields. First subfield deals with the firm's or product marketing environment and communication efforts that affect consumers' attitude, the competitive environment, characteristics of target market. Subfield 2 specify the consumer characteristics, its example experience of the consumer personality and how he perceives the promotional idea towards the product. In this stage, consumer forms his attitude towards firm's product based on his interpretation of the message or a result of the firm's advertisement, and as a result, output is generated. This output is attitude made by the consumer towards the product. Now, this output is transferred to the second field. Now, we can see the second field. This area covers consumer search and evaluation. Here, the attitude received from first field is processed and consumer makes a rational evaluation of the product according to his search queries and alternatives that are available for him. At the end of the process, output is generated and this becomes the motive and it is the basis of action. The motivated consumer leads to the action stage and this will come under field 3. In this stage, purchase action takes place. Consumer purchases a product according to his priorities and uses the or consumes the product. After that comes the next stage, that is the field number 4. It is the feedback area. In this, the post-consumption experience of the product is communicated to marketer and consumer related with its prior expectations. That's why two arrows are there showing one feedback to firm or product attribute or the and feedback to consumers attribute. The feedback or experience can be negative or positive. If consumer have positive experiences, means consumer is satisfied by the product, leading to repetitive purchases, positive word of mouth, referrals, and ultimately leading to consumer loyalty. And if the experience or the feedback is negative, that means it will lead to consumer dissatisfaction. And in this case, firm has to make or some modifications in the product. So after the modification, the product will satisfy the consumers. Here are some advantages and disadvantages of this Nicosia's model. Let me explain. Uh, this model makes a revolutionary change in consumer behavior area. This model explains buyer behavior by establishing a link between organization and its prospective consumers. It explains the impact of various methods of marketing communication on the mindset of consumer. But since each and every model has its own drawbacks, same for the Nicosia model. So there are some criticisms in the model. Since the model is incomplete in many aspects of decision making, it lacks clarity in many areas, whether it is related to the existing product or not, whether we can apply this model in identifying the behavior of all the consumers or not, whether the consumer is new or whether the consumer is any existing one, and whether the relationship is with the particular consumer is new or it is existing. So, in last, I would like to say, um, I am just give you a quick recap of the model. The Nicosia model consists of four fields, beginning with the communication of information to affect the consumer's attitude, influenced by firm's attribute and consumer's attribute, notably consumer predisposition, followed by a search, purchase action, and feedback. So that's all about the Nicosia model of consumer buying behavior. Thank you all for listening me.